It's Pride Month. Do you know what that means? Here at Lockheed Raytheon, we are locked and loaded to serve in every color of the rainbow. Whether it's our classic Leather Daddy surface-to-air missile systems, lipstick lesbian F-69 fighter jets, or our new Stonewall drones, operated entirely by a staff of bisexual non-binary pilots from our secret underground bunker in the Castro district of San Francisco, the good gays over at Lockheed Raytheon have you covered from head to toe with the fiercest arms in all of NATO. Our clients will rest assured knowing that their homes were destroyed by ethically sourced, non-GMO munitions, each with their own uniquely assigned set of neo-pronouns. But before we can bring rainbow freedom to underserved communities far away, it all starts with a dream. This is Sock. They're our Portland-based Vice President of Research and Development.
Thank you, Jojo. At Lockheed Raytheon every June, we are proud to show off what real American progress looks like. That's why I'm excited to announce our new laser-guided tactical glitter bombs. Before hitting their target, they play an eclectic selection of queer hits like Born This Way by Lady Gaga and Girls Like Girls by Haley Kiyoko, unleashing a storm of rainbow fury on any unsuspecting terrorist. At Lockheed Raytheon, our products put the sleigh in Slay Queen, but you have to act fast because these deals are only available during the month of June. Don't miss out.
Yeah, Slay Queen, as those glitter bombs directly put microplastic in your balls. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of crazy, wild, insane news to get into today, as of course the situation is not all right and is going to be worsening from here. As domestically, there's some very curious, interesting talks of arrests. Will Alvin Braggs and Dr. Fauci end up in the pin? Well, that's a serious conversation right now. As in Ukraine, they are asking for more munitions, more ways to strike Russia inside of their own country, which Russia has responded to by saying this essentially means a global world war, as they have just made a very big declarative statement for the first time, which has some grander implications here. We're going to be talking about that, plus all the latest news happening right now here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And since Atlas is good, I want to re-incentivize that larger behavior instead of the emotional, manipulative behavior that she was going through before. You're such a good dog. Here. Every new subscriber, Atlas gets a new treat. Subscribe right now, as of course the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by, I believe, City by Diana. And I believe it was her that created this happy pride from the good gays over at Lockheed Martin. Brilliant, funny, satirical, AI-generated work that is top-notch. So shouts out to her. She definitely earned a follow. You guys should go follow her as well. Incredible, good stuff that we clearly need a lot more of, since our dystopian military-industrial complex-controlled future ever so is dominated by some of the worst individuals in all of this earth, and at least we get to laugh at them. So shouts out to Diana. As now major news headlines literally run like they were Babylon Bee headlines just a few years ago, as today we're finding out that a dead man running in a congressional race just won his election. Yes, you heard that correctly. A congressman that had a fatal heart attack in April just won re-election in the state of New Jersey. As this Tuesday, Representative Donald Payne Jr. won a primary in New Jersey's 10th congressional district, as another not-so-alive man is now being heavily criticized by his own corporate media that initially put him in the seat of power that he is in right now, as the Wall Street Journal has a very interesting article that literally reads, "Behind closed doors, Biden shows signs of slipping." Yes, you heard that correctly, going into great detail, confirming, as Edward Snowden put it, as politely as possible, that Biden's apparent decline is real and serious. And of course it is. The guy could barely walk upstairs. He could barely make coherent sentences, and still he is the lead favorite from the Democratic political party to become the next president of the United States. Are you kidding me? As this media article is extremely telling as it highlights a larger shift in our political discourse from the corporate media that is moving away from the person that they put into office. This, as the Biden administration has been ever so aggressively using legal lawfare against their political opponents, something that now many Democrats fear that Trump will be responding to and potentially answering back with his own legal lawfare when he becomes the next president of the United States. As The Hill has a very interesting article that reads, Democrats fear Trump verdict furfur could lead to violence after the election. As in my kind of calculations, that's not really probable here. As the Biden administration's own TikTok account, literally without context or any other video with it, released a 1-minute clip from Tim Pool's podcast where he's talking about the possibility of Donald Trump using the same kind of legal lawfare tactics as the Democrats, something that the Democrats wanted to highlight with a caption on this video that reads, Trump operatives say Project 2025 plan will imprison those who don't support Trump. And again, that's not what was said here. That's not what was alluded here, as of course Tim Pool later clarified and said everything should be done within the legal matters and means just the same way like the Democratic Party is doing, something that of course scares the Democratic Party.
That when Donald Trump wins, we've got an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, a head of the CIA and the FBI. Kash Patel would be fantastic. We can have attorney general. There's some names floating around. And then they can start having their investigators and the feds issuing subpoenas.
As of course, that's exactly what the Democrats have done, as today Axios is reporting that some of these plans are actually being moved forward, as Steve Bannon, someone who was previously a part of the Donald Trump administration, told Axios that, of course, Manhattan DA Alvin Braggs should be and will be jailed after he is investigated and potentially prosecuted, as of course this is the man currently going after the former president of the United States, as legal lawfare is something that should have been avoided in the first place, but seems like it is now inevitable. And with it comes a very dangerous gambit in American politics, as of course we are becoming more divided than ever, as some Republican lawmakers are also talking about the potential of putting Dr. Fauci behind bars and arresting him for being an individual who lied to Congress and covered up a lot of key information. As Oversight Chair James Comer said Tuesday that he likes the idea of a Fauci arrest. Now, Donald Trump was actually asked about this directly by Tim Pool, and he kind of dodged that question, didn't directly answer it. As Fox News today is reporting that there's a strong possibility that Congress will recommend the DOJ to arrest Fauci. Now, will that happen? As of course, it's also important to note that a lot of people, especially if they are Trump supporters and represent larger populist ideas like Roger Stone, have ended up in jail because of, quote, lying to Congress. Now, it's pretty clear. Dr. Fauci lied to Congress in multiple occasions and multiple times. Will he face the same kind of scrutiny and legal pressures as Donald Trump supporters? Well, if we're playing fair here, let's just be honest with ourselves. He should. Will he? That's another question that a lot of people are asking themselves. As of course, the legal lawfare against Trump insiders doesn't just extend to his members of his previous administration. It also goes out to his lawyers that are also being targeted in some key states and jurisdictions, and media personalities who, according to some, also have been politically targeted for their political messaging and have been dealing with severe lawsuits that threaten their very own existence. This as just recently, a judge rejected a call to immediately shut down Alex Jones's InfoWars, as currently there's an ongoing court proceeding happening right now surrounding Hunter Biden that a lot of people are also saying is politically motivated and involved here, as many people are now saying that the Russian disinformation that was banned by Twitter in 2020 is now evidence in a federal criminal trial in 2024, as we're finding out that the Bidens really have some awful skeletons in their closet, as today we found out that Hunter Biden got his brother's ex-wife hooked on crack. We're finding out that his former brother also let off a horrible person that hurt children when he was a prosecutor. Lots of extremely awful stuff. And of course, as the developments come in, we're going to be keeping a close eye on it, and we're going to be expanding on that story and the larger derailment of American political civility all on the Best Political Show, a podcast that we're going to be doing 6 p.m. Eastern later on today here on this particular channel. So click subscribe, click the notification button, and we wanted to remind people that as a member, you get the ability to call in to the show and ask us questions. You get to be a part of it, and you could do that just by simply signing up to lukeunfiltered.com. Click here, here, or here, depending on your budget, whatever you could afford. Once a month, we will bill you, and for that, you get exclusive behind-the-scenes reports. You get another report later on today, right after this one. We're organizing more nature hikes. We're probably going to do one in New Hampshire in the White Mountains, and if you haven't ever been there, this is a time and opportunity to potentially plan your trip because it's one of the most beautiful places on the face of the earth. So I'm going to be releasing those dates in just a few days, those hikes exclusively just for members of lukeunfiltered.com. Sign up right now. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and you get a plethora of really incredible offers of value. Seed oil cards, crap lists at the grocery stores that you should be avoiding, 3 master classes, you name it. We got it all on lukeunfiltered.com, and it's one of the clearest, easiest, best ways to sign up and support our independent media ways. And again, it doesn't cost a lot of money. And if enough people did this, we would not have to do any form of advertisements. We would be fully independent. We're not there yet. If we had more money, we would be doing more incredible things like more on-the-ground reports. But sadly, the budget isn't there. Your support, more crucial than ever. The more you support us, the more work we do for you on the ground. As of course, we want to expand, we want to grow, we want to do more interviews on the street. We want to cover more live events. And again, the budget's not there. We truly do really need your help. Subscribe, sign up as a member today, as it's more imperative than ever. As of course, the situation is pretty precarious, especially on the world stage, as there's some serious conversations about the bird flu, as some alleged experts are now talking about how every cow in America needs to be tested on a weekly basis. This as the governments literally start creating and making viruses in laboratories, which you think they would stop by now. They haven't. All of this as in Europe. The governments there plan on expanding their surveillance measures on digital devices on their citizenry as they wage a soft proxy war on Russia that is becoming more serious than ever, as many European politicians are telling their citizens to prepare for the worst, to have emergency supplies, as in Germany. Their population today in Spiegel was being told, hey, your cellars, your basement rooms should be prepared for potential shelters in case there's a war. With an article saying cellar instead of bunker, where the Germans should seek shelter in case of war, as the prospects and possibility of war keep increasing from here, as the New York Times reports that Ukraine just officially struck into Russian territory with Western weapons that the United States secretly told them that they could use. Now, Russia has been warning about dangerous escalations if this happens. Ukraine is saying, hey, give us more. As the AP right now is reporting that the Ukrainians have just to begin to use U.S. weapons inside of Russia and plan on expanding and growing in those efforts that the Russians have warned would lead to serious consequences that we have not seen as of yet. As for the first time now, Russian president's press secretary came out and called the United States, quote, an enemy for the first time ever. Yes, you heard that correctly. Vladimir Putin's press secretary just officially declared the United States an enemy. Now, what does that mean? How will this kind of play out here? How will Russia retaliate? Well, only time will tell, but this is a very dangerous situation, as of course people are literally pushing us on the brink of total, utter destruction. The politicians who are dancing around the possibility of a larger nuclear exchange here are absolutely sociopathic and crazy. And you have to be if you're going to be bringing us this close to this type of insanity. And that's one reason out of many reasons why people are saying the Biden administration, the ghost administration, the administration where the deep state essentially controls every aspect of it, since it's really just an old man that's not really there calling the shots, is an administration that is ever so dangerous for the safety of the American people, the interests of the American country, and the interest and safety of the entire world. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. It's truly insane what's happening. I got one more video coming your way on lookunfiltered.com. Another one, podcast episode, 6 p.m. Eastern, later on today. Sign up to lookunfiltered.com so you could call in. Would love to see your face. Stay tuned for that. Plus a lot more all here on youtube.com/wearechange.